Hi guys, it's Dakota. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you already subscribe, thank you for coming back and supporting me. I appreciate it. And by the word support, I do not mean financially. I don't get paid by YouTube. I don't collect any money. I do this because I want to. I think it's fun. It gives, it sort of gives me something else to think about and to do. So I really enjoy it. If you watched the last video, um, I was really excited by the end of the video and telling you that I had something really exciting that I was going to share with you this week, and I was really excited about it. I really was. I'm going to disappoint you with that, and I apologize. And I'm going to explain to you why, and I'm going to give you a little bit of the information and tell you the whys of my disappointment or my disappointing you. Um, so first of all, let me just say, I read tarot and at my store. And one of the things that I don't do that I've wanted to for probably the last 12, 15 years, something like that, I really, I love runes. I think they're just really awesome. I think that whole thing is just it's really cool. I first got introduced to the runes when I had gone to a pagan pride festival, and I took a workshop. The guy gave some workshop, and I went to the workshop. And then at the end, find out that he is a rune master, and he wanted to give a few free readings to some of the people that were there. And I just stayed and was listening to him, and I was just fascinated by the whole process of how he did it, and and then listening to him, it was really great, because I'm sitting there looking at the runes, and I'm thinking, how do when you have these little tiles or stones or wood chips or whatever it is, how do you divine from that? How do you see that? Because in tarot, if you don't know about runes, they are, it's just like I said, it could be a little tile, it could be a stone, a wood, a wood chip, whatever, and there's symbols. And most of the symbols are just like a straight line. It's a straight line, with a couple little things, a couple other symbols on it, and whereas tarot cards have images. The cards have images, whether it's just the Waite Smith regular Waite Smith deck, or whether it could be a dragon deck, it could be some fantasy deck, it could be some Art Nouveau, it could be witchy, it could be whatever. It could be any kind of image. But the point with that is that you have something to look at. You have something, at least for me, because I am not a psychic. I am not. I'm pretty intuitive. I think I'm pretty intuitive. And but you have these images that help stimulate your intuitiveness, your energies, what you see, and what the other cards that are maybe surrounding a card, and they all are like mingling and talking to each other. And there's so much stuff in a tarot card, right? As far as the image, there's plants and bugs and birds and people and things, just tons of stuff. All of the elements are represented. It's just everything. When I look at a rune and it's this big, and there's just, like one or two lines on it, my mind can't, I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, like I said, I can go over to the chart. I could probably memorize in the Elder Futhark, there are 24 runes. And so, and the runes have keywords, just like tarot does. It has its keywords. So I could probably, get to the point where I might be able to memorize those, or at least some of the keywords, but I don't feel them, if you know what I mean. Like when I see the tarot card and it's got all the images, like there's an emotional connection to that. And I'm sure if you read runes, if that's your calling, I'm sure you get the same thing. I'm sure that you feel it. And that's pretty awesome. So, uh, but I was so fascinated with it. And I thought, man, I really want to learn that. I do. And I've tried over the years. I've, pulled out my runes and I've tried to look at them. I've tried to study them. But, again, I'm just studying the key words. And when I look at it, so let's just say protection. Okay, this is a protection rune. And I look at it and I go, I know that that's a protection rune, but I don't feel it. I don't feel the energy of it. Anyway, well, so what I was excited about was a deck came out a few years ago, and I'm not going to pronounce the name right, so apologies. Uh, Lo Los Gabararo, something like that. I don't remember his name. And that's the company. The guy's name is Jack something. He has a long name too. I can't remember his name either. Anyway, the Runic Tarot, called the Runic Tarot. And there's another deck that came out also a few years back called Heaven and Earth by same company, same artist and all that. And it has a similar feel. So, in fact, that was the first deck. When I saw that deck, the Heaven and Earth, I was like, ooh, it's very misty looking. It's very like other realm feeling to me. But when I did not buy it. I ordered it for the store and then I took the box home, did not open it. I took the box home and I wanted to do some work first. I wanted to look it up. I wanted to research it. I wanted to read some blogs. I wanted to see different reviews. I just kind of wanted to see what was going on with it. And there's a website that will post all of the images of all of the cards in a deck. And you don't find that very often. You can find that here on YouTube. You can, some people will do a review and show all the cards, which is great. And so as I started looking at that Heaven and Earth deck, I knew right away that it just wasn't for me. As much as I love the images and I love the art, it's just an absolute beautiful deck. But it's a little bit too, it has it's called Heaven and Earth. And it feels very angelic to me. It feels very heavenly to me. And so that doesn't resonate with me so much. So as I was looking at the cards, I had a hard time getting the messages to come out where when you know certain keywords or like a certain card, that might be sort of a shadowy card in that, hey, look, you need to do some work. You need to get that stuff up and you need to work on it. This deck, which has the same card, but it was so light and so and that's not me. Those of you who know me, that isn't me. So so I ended up not getting that deck for that reason. But I still think it's a beautiful deck, and we carry it in the store. I love it. Well, when I saw the Runic Tarot, and we've carried it, for a few years now, but this last order that we got, which was a couple months ago, when I was checking it in, I pulled that box out and I just went, I dig this. I dig this deck, and it's kind of on the same look as the Heaven and Earth deck, where it's very mystical looking, misty looking, not mystical, but misty. It's kind of, I don't know how to say it. The ambiance is very a thing that I like. I love the fog. I love fog. It's like seeing through the veil kind of thing for me. So it kind of had that feel to me. And And I'd put it down and I'd go back and I'd pick it up and I'd look at it and I'd put it back. And I kept doing this, like, for weeks. And I realized earlier on, I had realized that it's a tarot deck, but each card has a rune on it. And I thought, one day I picked it up and I'm looking at all the pictures again. And I had already started doing a little bit of research because I thought, I would love to have this deck. And once I realized I had the runes, I was like, I need to have this deck. Of course I need to have this deck because I read tarot. So that part of it I already have. But to learn the rune that goes with that card, that's going to really open up. It's going to open me up, right? That's what I thought. So I finally broke down and I said, I'm not going to buy the deck. I'm just going to pull this one off the floor for now. And I started doing my research. I watched the YouTube videos. I read blog after blog. I've read the reviews. I've read everything about, as I could get my hands on about the Runic Tarot. And what I learned was that, there's 22 major arcanas and there's 24 Elder Futhark runes, which is what they've used for the most part, to make things simple, on the major arcana. And so that messed with my head right away because I was like, wait a minute, there's 22 cards and only 22 cards and there's 24 runes. How do you get those extra, 2 runes on these cards? And so that kind of was like a thing. And all of your minor arcanas, they'll have anywhere from 1, I think, up to 3. I don't think there's 4. There might be 4 on some of the cards, but I know that some of them have 3 different runes, and they're not all Elder Futhark. Some are the Younger Futhark, and some are the Anglo-Saxon rune. So, and those all those have different symbols and kind of have some different meanings and all of that. So even with that, I was still going, but this is an opportunity for me to learn the runes because I already know the cards. So that part, that will come, and having a rune that works itself into that card is going to help me learn the runes. That's what I thought. As it turned out, at least that is not how I received the information, the messages or whatever for the cards. So I got really disappointed. Not with the cards. I love them. I love them. I love them. But I got disappointed probably with not knowing runes. That's one thing, is I don't know the runes. And so how was that affecting me in my tarot mind? I don't have the card, so please forgive me. I know this is kind of cheesy, but just in case you don't know, I have it on my phone. Sorry. I'm just going to show you real quick. So there's so that's the Runic Tarot. And see, it's kind of like mystical and all of that. That's Odin. And I love the feel of those cards. Well, each of the majors, they have a symbol. Let me show you another one here. So this is the Emperor. And right, oh, that's my dog. That was my doggy. Sorry. Right at his belt. Right there at his belt. Is a rune. And so, I know about the Emperor, and I look up that rune, which I had to look it up because I don't know the runes, but I looked it up, and it is, and I don't know how to pronounce them, so forgive me. It is Thurizaz, Thurizaz, and it means thorn. Well, it means thorn, and it means uh, let go of the old, and start a new beginning and all of that. But my issue, so here's what I'm saying. So how does that play in with the emperor? Because the emperor is, um, for me, for me, he's in charge. He's the emperor. He's the ruler. He's the he controls the empire. Um, he's not about letting go of the old. To me, is not how I read it. Is letting go, and starting a new beginning. And yet that's kind of what that rune was. But it also had a different meaning. It also had like the thorn, and defensive force was the other thing that was on there. And I thought, defensive force, what do you mean by that? Defensive force. And even still, I'm like, okay, so defensive force, but how do we put that in defensive force with the emperor? Like, what exactly? I don't feel all those things that I just gave you, all those keywords, defensive force, thorn, letting go, starting a new beginning. That's what it said for that particular rune. I looked up the rune, and that's what it says. Thurizaz, Thurizaz, Thurizaz. Uh, let go, move forward, new beginnings. It was really, really confusing for me. So the bottom line, my disappointment to you is, as of right now, I don't own the deck. I'm not going to get the deck right now. I don't think that that is the right way for me to learn runes. And maybe it's just not the right time for me to learn the runes, to learn the runes, because it absolutely didn't make sense. And there's another one, there's another card. What was that? Oh, the strength card. Um, I looked that up, and right by the bear's ear over here, I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, you can see it right there, up there, kind of back by the ear. I love this card, the strength card. Oh my gosh, I love the card so much. And that symbol is called Wunyo, Wunyo. Um, And it means, on the chart that I looked it up, it meant working together, um, working on your goals together. And I loved that. Um, and, it's not necessarily how I see the strength card, but I could see that in the strength card. I can. So that kind of made sense with that particular card. Um, But then when I started getting into the minors and looking at those, and some of those have you know, like I said, I know there's some of them have up to three. I think there's one or two that might have four, but I might be wrong on that. But then you also have a bind rune, and you've got this and you've got that. And I just, it just didn't resonate with me as far as how I read and how I see tarot right now. So it's kind of unfortunate, because I was really, really looking forward to sharing that with you. Like I said, I have a set of runes, and I thought I just could not wait. I wanted to, okay, here's my new deck, and look, it's got runes on it, and this card has this, and you know what I mean? It's almost like, I don't know. I feel like, if we're looking at that one I just said, that Thurizaz. I know I'm killing it. I'm so sorry. Like let go, move forward, new beginning. I just don't see that in the Emperor. And so I would love for someone to say, well, that works this way also. But I guess my point is, when I looked at some of the rune charts, they all really did have, it's almost like your tarot books, the Waite Smith books, those keywords, they're all pretty much the same. The Fool card, he's the risk taker, he's on a new journey, he's, all the things. A lot of your books are going to say pretty much the same thing, that you're going to understand that that's this is the Fool's journey and that's what it's about. But and so perhaps you have to look beyond what the traditional meaning or what the keyword meaning of a particular rune is. It can't, you have to be able to um, go into that and help your client understand that. So if I were to pull the Emperor now, let's just say I pulled this Emperor right now, and now I know that rune, what the chart that I looked up. I looked up a couple of them. They all said the same similar thing. And let's just say it's, letting go and starting over. I'm just wondering how does that didn't make sense to me with the Emperor, how I see the Emperor. Now, if the Emperor perhaps was, there were some other cards around him, maybe that would have made sense. I don't know. Like I just don't know. I just don't know. What's really interesting about that strength card is, and I'm not sure if that is I'm not sure if it's wands or if it's swords. I don't know the deck yet, but the strength card, I think I have a picture of that too. Sorry, it's on my camera, but I don't have the deck. Okay, so I showed you the strength card with her, and it looks like, probably the giant, like polar bear, sweet bear. And then I pull this is the 9 of, I want to say, it's got to be swords, 9 of swords. I don't know if you can see it, the glare, but look, the little bear's dead now, I don't, ugh. I just, and I don't know what those runes mean on there. Now that one has 2 runes. And I don't know what they mean, but all I know is I didn't like that. That strength card felt so good to me. It did impact, like just looking at that, and it empowered me until I saw the 9, and then I went, oh, I've been slayed. It was really a downer card for me. That one. So, but it might have some, I don't have the book, so I don't know, what the author says in the Runic Tarot book. But this is based off of the Smith Waite. It's got to be similar. There's a general consensus that it's similar to what the Waite Smith idea of that 9 of swords, I'm guessing, is. And then you throw that the 2 runes in with that. I don't know how that all comes together. But the sad news is I don't have the deck. I'm not going to get it at this point in my life. I'm going to continue to open space and just hopefully allow the universe to go, what about this one? And I'll pick another deck. Like I need another one. Like I need, that's crazy. I mean, I've got the floor sagging right here above my head from all my books and cards and stuff. But that's the thing, is that there's going to be decks out there that we absolutely love. We're drawn to the art. We just love everything about it. And yet, maybe when we get ready to start reading it, we can read it because especially if you know how to read tarot, you'll know what that card means, but are you feeling it? That's the difference. I don't like to read cards where I just know the general consensus meaning of the card, the keywords of the card. That isn't telling me anything. That isn't telling me anything. Mr. Arthur Wade is not sitting here giving me a reading. This is some cards that, he shared his stories, and him and Pamela Coleman Smith came up with the designs, and that's awesome, but it doesn't necessarily tell my story or uh, tell me my journey in the way that he has worded it. So yeah. So anyway, um, boohoo! I'm sorry. I wanted to really, yeah. I was really really excited for it. So yeah. So right now I like my deck. I mean, the deck that I use for myself is the Transparent Tarot by Emily Carding. And if you look back, I don't know how long ago, I think it was a two-part review of her cards, because I will say this, when I got them, I did not like them, and I was not happy because they were expensive. That was a $60 deck for me, and I don't know about you, but $60 was a lot of money for me to get a deck that I didn't like. And I had no clue what this was all about. It was not what I was expecting. And there's just some other things that I did not like about the deck. And I did a review on it, and um, Emily, if you're watching, I have spoken to her about that, and things changed. All of a sudden, it was like, whoop, the door opened, and I went, ah, yes. And I love the deck. So I love the deck now. It's deep for me. It's very deep. And I have a couple other decks that I like. But some of the decks I still have issues with. One of my favorite decks is the Wildwood Tarot. I love that deck to pieces. But I would say that for the most part, I cannot read it intuitively enough to feel comfortable. I get carried away on a journey when I see that deck. Maybe that's what it is. It takes me somewhere. Like it is as interesting. Good. Well, now I'm going to look up the deck, and I'm going to see if I can read just letting my mind go and take a journey. Okay, sometimes people, my friends, it's really good to just let things flow, and when something like that just comes out of your mouth, go, huh, do it. I mean, just go ahead and try it. Doesn't hurt to try. So go ahead and try it and do it. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be fun. Because I really love the deck. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that works for me. I've never tried that. I've tried to only read it the way, I know this is the full card and these are the key words, but I don't see I don't see that in the card, and try to kick in my intuitive abilities, and I don't see that. And I end up kind of like going on this meditation journey with this deck. They're beautiful. I love them. So there you go. Maybe I have a new way. I have a new thing to work on. Love it. All right, you guys, I'm done being crazy. I hope you enjoyed the video, and just hope you enjoyed the talk. And look at, if you read runes, if you're a rune reader, like you read runes, and you can give me some insight to that, if you have the deck, and you can give me some insight to it, please leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm open. I love that deck. I love that deck. I love the way it makes me feel. But I can read the cards. I can read the cards without the runes. And maybe that's another thing, maybe I get the deck now and just read the deck, just read the cards for the cards, and not worry about the runes until they come to me. That's a thought there too. Meditate and kind of journey and do some, do a little spell work and manifesting with that and see what happens. So it's never ending. You can do whatever you want, and it's okay. It's great. Give it a try. So anyway, but for real, if you have something that that about either of those decks, the not the Heaven and the Earth, I'll listen. I would love to hear what you have to say about that. I'm okay with that. The Runic Tarot, especially, I love it. Hey, give me some comments about the Wildwood Tarot if you have that too. Or just say hi. I'm good with that too. Hello. For now, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for dealing with all my crazy mindset and stay cool. It is 109 today with the humidity. It is sweltering hot. Please take care of your fur babies. Please take care of your fur babies. Think about them. It's twice as hot for them. They've got fur and they're barefoot. Remember that. All right, guys. Take care. Be kind and love you.